Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, depending on where you are watching this video from. It's Cyber Sound back here again with another video, and this video is called this box rather we are going to come today rather is called FRISTILEAKS from Vulnhub. I want to ahead of time apologize for my sound. You may begin to hear a number of things. My system just updated. I'm running a VirtualBox on a Windows system. My system just updated, and for whatsoever reason, my wired and wireless earphones cannot work. I am not able to get sound out of it. So I'm still working on it, trying to see. However, I hope that does not interrupt the sound output. So apologies for that. So follow me. I'm going to try as much as possible to speak very clearly and very calmly. So great. So we have this box called FRISTILEAKS from Vulnhub. There it is. So while this begins to load, I'll say a few things. So FRISTILEAKS, you just come here, download the mirror version. If you have VirtualBox or virtual machine, either of them would work. All right. So I have mine downloaded and all set up. So I'll come and as usual, we want to scan the network. And I'll just do this sudo apt scan. So great. So I have a number of boxes 10, 0 to 1, 2, 2 to 3, and so forth. At this point, you would know which we're looking for. Well, you can decide to scan all of them. And if you have no idea, you can choose to please watch the previous videos on my channel. There are a whole lot of informational videos there. Videos that, let me use the word, bless you. You would actually enjoy watching those videos. So please go over the channel and watch those videos. So this is what I'm looking for here, 10024. And the next thing I'm going to do is an nmap scan. All right, so I'll just change this IP address right here and paste this here, 10.0.2.4 in this place. Now, while this is starting up, a number of you may notice the moment you put your device on the same network, for this I'm using NAT network, and it may somehow, it's supposed to look like this: FreeStyle 1.0 vulnerable. By this goal is to get root UID 0 and read the flag file. Thanks to this IP address 10024, a number of you may notice, or every one of you rather, may notice that you are having something different. You may have something like this box is configured to use either bridge or internal network, something like that, an error message. Do not panic. Come down here. There's a message here. Say VMware users will need to manually edit the VMs where virtual machines MAC address. So VM virtual machines MAC address to this particular MAC address. We're giving it a particular MAC address. All right. So how you do that is to come to your virtual box, and this is the machine running. You hit on settings. You come down to network. See, I'm using NATs for this particular box. And then my CAL is also NAT. So you come down to advanced and then you see MAC address. The reason why this is blurred out and I cannot change is because the virtual machine is actively running. So what you'd want to do if yours is running is to shut it down, it's this, and then impute the other one. Why you should do so, you save, you restart the machine, and you should be good to go. All right. So having said that, it's not just for VMware users now. Even VirtualBox users, I had the same issue. I had to come do this for it to actually work. So a number of you that may have the same issue, both VirtualBox and VMware have the same issue. You need to change the MAC address. Note, not of your Kali machine, but of this particular box. All right. Having said that, let's go back. Okay. So um, I don't know if you've noticed. Well, most times Nmap do take time. Yeah, sorry, it actually takes its time sometimes to actually load up. So what I'm going to do, while this is usually I'm supposed to wait for this to load up so we see what we have here. But typical me, I like to just go out to the web, try out the IP address that we have. We have a, okay, great. So it's loaded. We have permits me to do this. Let me just adjust this a bit. Right, so mmap, and then we see port services. Port 80 is open, seems to be the only port that is open. And inside of port 80, we see some interesting things. We have HTTP 2.2.15. 1.5 rather. Sent OS PHP 5.3.3. The site doesn't have a title. So we see this robot.txt. TXT has three disallowed entries, which means this is allowed. Alright, we have cola, CC, we have beer. Great. So first things first is we want to copy selection and then we want to paste. For me, it's paste and go right up front. So here we are in or FRISTILEAKS motto, whichever you want to call it, FRISTILEAKS. You can go down, you see it's just a page. So most default, click on every link clickable. You see this is leading us to a Twitter page that usually would not work because you would need to sign in your account. If you've used Twitter before, you would know that you need to sign in your account to be able to use it conveniently. Okay. Now, what I'll do is I want to view page source as usual, just searching for information. Welcome to FRISTILEAKS. Hope I pronounced that well. FRISTILEAKS, a quick machine get. That's the same thing we saw when the machine was spinning up. This is the only thing that's added here. Time frame should be doable in color. It doesn't matter how long you do it, so long as you know what you're doing. All right. So there's actually nothing here yet. So the next thing you would want to do, you may choose to, let's open a new tab and split it again. You may choose to derb the box. All right. You may choose to derb. You get derb is a directory busting tool. By now you should be familiar with that. If you're not, once and again, please go back and watch the channels. You can choose to use other directory busting tools. Go Buster. We have the Buster. I have for fourth. These are just among the few that I enjoy using. Okay, so let's go with the for fourth dash u http. All right, so I'll just paste the box dash w us. Okay, so this found two user share or lists. Okay, this is not user. Okay, slash share slash. I think I misspelled something. That's why I did not complete. So I'm going to use dub and I'm going to use gig. So this would not work because I skipped out something. That is the keyword false. Great. So this is working. This is working its way through. See, it's outputting rather a number of them, and that was fast. So you see, the redirection is on the 301. Beer is on the redirection as well. Poetry not disallowed. Um, error message is 200 because 200 is an okay. Great, so we have robot.txt. Great, so let's come down here and see. We have the same thing down here. We have directory. This is a forward tree. All right. So beer. We have a directory here. We have a beer, but inside of beer we have this. Okay, it's not entering directory, so this is different. So we have this directory. We have this directory. Images is 200 code 200. So this can you can just copy this and then I think we can clear this now since there's nothing useful in that place. Great. So keep camp PNG. There's nothing here. There's also nothing here. You can choose. Okay, you can't view page source. So it's not allowing us to view page source. Let's see if this allows us to view page source. So no, no, nothing. You can come down to the parent directory, which is where we came from. All right. So now let's do something. Great. So I'm going to, okay, there's no need to do that. So I want us to do something here. You see, we have robot.txt and it is an allowed entry. So we're going to paste this robot.txt. So we see user agent, what is disallowed is cola, CC and beer, but because we are stubborn and because not necessarily stubborn, sometimes they may just write it and probably somebody forgets to do so. You can choose to do all of these, or I can introduce you to another tool. I hope I'm so sorry I did not increase this for you guys to see. Okay, great. So you can see all of this now. I have Nikto, another tool I enjoy using. Also a web vulnerability assessment tool. It also does almost the same thing with every other one. So you see it's also pulling out information. Let me increase this by one again. Okay, so this is also working its way. So, but then it has told us we have beer, so we can begin to scan for beer. See, entering images. So where is that our Nmap scan? So Nmap shows us something. We have cola, we have CC, and we have beer. Nectar is supposed to give us something close or something similar, something much more. It gives you the vulnerability. So you see, entry beer is return a non-forbidden. So it's non-forbidden. So 200, 200, 200. We have three 200. CC is 200. Cola is 200. Bear is 200. So I'll just copy bear and I'll be changing it since it's the same thing we have. Mhm. All right. So somebody might say, why not do robot.txt slash this? Yeah, not found. That's why. So um, I'm going to paste this. Great. This is not the URL you're looking for. You can choose to view page source. There's nothing in the page source. I hope you remember the other one is called CC. The same thing. View page source. There's nothing in the page source. The third one is Cola, if I remember well. The same thing. Nothing in the page source. So now you would want to become confused. Well, do not be confused, all right? We still have a long way to go. So while this has given us all it has given us, permit me to say so, we want to come here and look at something. Now, enumeration is key. We've done view page source. We said this should be doable in 4 hours and all that. So look at all of these first link details. First leaks 2015, I think 12/11 depends on the country. They use different calendar times, different calendar formats, permits me. So we have these different names that goes down all the way down here. So one thing I came to do is look at this. We have the FRISTILEAKS motto, keep calm and drink freeze. You begin to think, okay, we tried cola, it did not work. We tried beer. If you're not drinking cola, you're not taking beer, I don't know what this is. Probably it's a drink somewhere. So one thing you can come to do, so since we're done with this, I think I can clear this and I'm okay. So what I did was to um, get a new word list. And if you look at this, it's looking similar with this. I think we can cancel this as well. So let's work with this. So you see, the Frestilix motto, keep calm and drink freeze. That's what I have here. The Frestilix motto, keep calm and drink freeze. So I had to do this multiple times just in case word, what's it called? There's a capitalization somewhere, small letter, lowercase, uppercase, whichever. Now this place where I have an empty space, white space, I intentionally put that so that I can know where these starts from. So if you follow this source page, you see that I have all of these in my word list. Every single one of them, I have them captured in my word list. That is here. You can choose to scroll down, see all of it. I just put a space so that I, for my sake, would understand where it starts from and where it ends. All right. So having said that, I am going to puff off again, but this time around, I'm going to use my word list. All right. So I'm going to use home, home Kali. That's my present working directory. And I'm going to use new lists. That's what I used. All right, so now let's go and let's see. Great. So progress, it already gives us 50. So let's go. Let's copy this. That was fast. Let's do that somewhere else because I want to still maintain uh, that original one. So let's drop this 50. Oh wow, when I first found this, I was so excited. All right. So now we have something else. We have a login page. At least it's good news. So the next thing I immediately did was to do SQL injection just to see if something is vulnerable because I have login details. Sorry, not login details. I have a login page that I can come to view page source and oh, I have some information, interesting information here. Great. But then let's go SQL injection and see if we can be able to before we press and stress ourselves, or maybe to use the word stress ourselves. So we'll just use a very simple payload. You can come around and play with payloads, but I'm just going to do something really simple. So I'm going to paste these and I'm going to paste these as well. So I'm going to try login. So username or password wrong. You can come to view page source. It's the same thing. I'm actually just showing you all of this so that you know how we enumerate. Now we search for information and all of that. So GitHub SQL payload, you can play around with it. I'm just showing you that it does not work. So when you come to view page source, this is page source. So we see something already in comments. Great. We need to clean this up for production. I left some junk in here to make testing easier. By, there's a username. I can't pronounce this. Great. So we see the next thing, name description, super leads. Also, if you're not careful to read everything, you will miss it because it's not green, it's not catching the eye, you will miss it. So it says the method name description says super leads password login test. We use base 64 encoding for images so they are in line in the HTML. I read somewhere on the web that that I read somewhere on the web that that's a good way to do it. All right. So this is telling us something. We use base 64 one. We encoded something with base 64, and it looks like we encoded images with base 64, or whoever it is that built this. So by this person is one that encoded. So it tells me something. If you look, this is supposed to be the image. Yes. So let's just scroll down and see what happens. This is a page. We just want to see if there's anything interesting in this place. Okay, so when I clicked on this, this is some very, very funny looking data. All right, so that's exactly what I'm looking for. So let's view page source again. Great, so we can just scroll down here just to see if there's anything else before we begin to look at that data that doesn't look so nice. All right, so which means all of this because the next thing that we see here is a check login and then there's a my username and the password member login and all of that. So you see its member login is down here, so which means this is most likely the picture. All of this data up here is most likely the picture, but I'm seeing something else in comments. Remember they said they used base 64 encoding. If I'm seeing this in comments and I'm seeing this thing that looks like gibberish, I'm already getting an idea that this guy is used a base 64. So I want to just try my luck. Remember we're enumerating. There's a tool called cyber chef, very powerful tool at that. That's yes, cyber chef. Great. So excuse me, I'm having cough, so please permit me and forgive me. So while CyberChef is trying to come up, all right, great. So you'd come to CyberChef, you paste the text. You see, it's still giving you gibberish. That's because you're supposed to have put the recipe. So apologies for that. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to remember they said from basics. We did encoding with base 64. So literally what that means is we took some images and we ran it through base 64. I don't know if that makes sense. So now what we are looking for is the encoded through base 64. Now we are decoding from base 64 back to whatever the image is or whatever that commented line is. So we hopefully are hoping that it is the image that we are looking for. All right, so I have the from, you'd have to most times search from base 64, or you can just search base 64 rather. So actually just search base 64. Then you see two base 64 from base 64. All right. So I'm going to drag this here. Then I'm going to paste all of this. All right. Output ended of line separator restricted, blah, 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 blah. So the first thing I see here is a PNG. That's the first few bits, the first few data bits of the file, of the raw file, or that gibberish looking content, permit me to say so. All right, so I see that it is because in its format it's actually gibberish. All right, so but it is obviously data. So we see PNG, and we know PNG is an image file. We have PNG, we have JPG, the most popular for file for image format. I think those are the only two image formats we have. So I'm looking for something now. This I come back here, and these guys are telling me they encoded an image in base 64. So, and this is telling me this is an image. So what I'm looking for is a base 64 image decoder and encoder decoder. Great. So the first one, you can use anyone, it doesn't really matter. And I'll just paste that same text. The reason I'm not pasting this output is because the output is still gibberish, doesn't really make sense. So I'm copying this one. Remember, I already have it copied. If you don't have it, if you left it, you just come to your page source and copy it again. So I'm pasting this and I'm going to decode page 64. Great. So we have an image. This is an image. Key. So it's an image. You can't exactly copy it. All right. So what you need to do, this looks like something we want. All right. So first of all, I'm saying this. At least we have a name that looks like a name we can try. So this looks like a person's name, and that looks like a password. All right, because it tells us super lit login password test page. So password, lit password. So it's giving us an idea password. So the first thing I want to do is to copy this. All right, where's my login page? So let me get rid of all of this. Okay, so up here, I want to paste this. Great. And then here you want to carefully copy this out to a text file. I've already done that. So I'm just going to come down here and then K. So the first word is actually a small letter K. Just follow it like that. Small letter, capital letter, small letter, capital, small, capital, small, like that. And you should be good to go. Then there's no need to stress yourself. All right. And fingers crossed. Great. We have login success. And now we see all this view page source. There's actually nothing here. Upload.php. You can choose to click on this. Image to upload, file to upload image, and all of those. So yeah, there's almost nothing here. So you see we have success. So we can click on this upload a file. Okay, so they are telling us to upload a file. Let's see, since we have a PHP, let's see if it can allow some PHP. The first thing I want to do is a reverse shell. Great, so reverse shell PHP. And while I'm trying to do reverse shell, I'll just come here and open a listener. I think we've done this before. All right, so I'm going to open a netcat listener. All right, because I'm going to be connecting back to my shell. So in my PHP reverse shell, great. So now I'll tell you, you can just, so permit me, I almost forgot that. So since you can just come here and type PHP reverse shell. All right, and then the one that opens, you make use of it. Anyone? So yes, I've been looking for this name in my head. Pentest Monkey. He has a reverse shell. You can actually come here. This is it. Reverse shell.php. You can choose to copy all of this or download the raw file. I think there's another one. Um, yes, Pentest Monkey. I think this takes you to his own website. It's actually the same thing. Well, that other one is more preferable. All right, so this one is more preferable. So what you will do, let's just go about it. So PHP reverse shell.php. Copy this. You can choose to download or copy. So you can actually, where's the copy? Okay, here is copy. You can copy copied. Great. So I want to see if there's anything we should be changing. If there's anything we should be changing. Okay. Great. So with the very top, while you copy this into a text file, obviously you can't make edits to somebody else's documents. All right. This is Git. So most likely you probably would spin up a notepad. Let's do this somewhere else. So let's do nano. You can call it PHP reverse shell. Then let me just call it php.shell. Sorry, php underscore shell dot php. It's actually the extension matters. So if you come in and paste this, then you find your way right up to the very top. Alright, however you want to do that, find your way right up to the very top. You can use different text editors. Just okay, so that's it. We are back to the top. So it says to change this. So for nano, you have to use your mouse to actually do all of that. So you see, you have to change this IP address to your Kali Linux IP address. That's the way the shell knows what to return to. Then you need to change the port. Well, the port is not compulsory to change it. You can actually leave 1, 2, 3, 4. That's very okay. That's all you need to change. And then um yes, and enter. But I'm going to remove this because I already have a reverse shell waiting for me. Great. So having done that, the next thing you'd want to do is to create a listener. So what you're telling the shell is, I'm going to upload you somewhere. However, once you are there, try to beacon back to my computer. All right. I've given you an IP address, so you find the IP address and connect back to it because we are on the network and we have internet access. And two, you would check the ports. All right. So you come to this IP address, and once the port is open, you are connecting. Obviously, when you send data out into the internet, you use, let's say, port 80 or port 443 HTTPS. It goes out and it returns back with certain data through that same port. So you are telling it, as you are connecting, bring the shell, give us a shell back through port 444 or whatever port you changed in your page reverse shell script. Right? So having said that, you hit enter, and this is listening on any ports, on any listening on what? On any 444, so it's waiting for something. So you see we've uploaded a reverse shell. We selected a reverse shell. Sorry, I'll just cancel this. Selected a reverse shell. Now we upload. Okay, so sorry, it's not a valid file. Only allowed file PHP, sorry, PNG, JPG, and GIF. All right, so these are image files. Sorry, file not uploaded. So we come back here. We see this is still listening. Well, that's fine. You can actually go back and choose a different file. So what I just did here, if you see your former file was reverse shell.php, because PHP is not allowed. As I said, extensions are important. That's why it was prevented. All you need to do, you can choose to recopy or something. You can choose to copy the shell, the script into another name, or you just add create another extension. You add a new extension .jpg, and then that will be fine. That's okay. So your file is no longer reverse shell.php, but reverse shell.php.jpg. Having said that, now we have our listener waiting, and then we have this we can upload. Okay, still listening. Great. All right, so the file has uploading. Please wait. The file has been uploaded to /uploads. Okay, so that tells me something. Remember, we had an upload somewhere, so I can come to do something like this /uploads. There is, well, nothing here. So I think we can actually just, we are done with this. I think we need first. Okay, so I think let's just use this one instead of document is no longer available or what. Great, so I'm going to use so remember they said we uploaded to something to display. Okay, we sent two uploads, so let me just copy this please so that we don't have to. Great, so we have upload do upload dot php. So this was uploaded to this place, so I'll just copy this. So remember we came from Fristy, and then let's do that thing like they said. So the file was updated as we uploaded to this place. So we've tried to do / here, it didn't work. You can try to do 10.02 / uploads, it will not work. All right, so Fristy is how we're able to find something useful. So let's just go from Fristy, and then we see that it's telling us no. Why are you telling us no? All right, so if the file was uploaded to this place, this is where the file goes to. So we can try again. Now we still have our listener waiting for us. Great. So what is next is to now add my page to reverse shell.jpg. And then if you're familiar with this, you know that once you have a stall here, which means something is happening. If you're not familiar, I would advise you go back to my previous videos. Just go through the channel. I have about 11 videos up there. You can check out the number of them. And then you see something is happening here. We have something that looks like a shell. Now, a number of you may or may not actually get the shell, If you don't actually get the shell, you may get something refused. I can't remember what the error is. Something refused. The next thing you would want to do is to sorry, sudo apt get install ufw. All right. So I have this already installed. Great. So once you have this installed, it's going to work for you. All right. That's all you need. Once you do that, it's going to work for you. And then now we have a shell here, but this is not so beautiful. Let's make this really beautiful. If you watch my previous video, it's actually, I did the same thing there. So I'm just going to come to my text editor. I have this open, so I'm just going to copy this. So I have Python C. I'm spinning up a bash shell. All right, I did explain what a bash shell was in the previous video. So I'm going to just paste this here, paste clip, and then great. So we have a bash. All right. So let's do ls. So now we are in enumeration. Part one just finished. Part two just began. Now we are in. What do we do? What do we do? You can do who am I? You can do who am I? Apache. You can do host name, localhost.admin, uname dash a. Okay, uname dash a is giving us something interesting. So once we are in here, we are looking for how to escalate privilege. Why did I say that? You can actually just play around and go to CD home or something, but I'm seeing a root here. So why would I want to go to CD home when I'm seeing a root? So permission deny. The the moment I say permission deny, I know that this guy is not a root user. So we can do something like ID. It tells you UID is what was it called? UID, I'm looking for something. Yes, UID is Apache. Apache. Remember what the box told us from the very beginning. Where is that? A few pages us. Says get UID to be root. That's how you pawn the box. And if you check FRISTILEAKS here, it says the same thing. Where is it? Where's the description? Get UID root and read the flag. Alright, so which means you're not there yet. This guy seems like a normal user. He doesn't have permission to go into, so all of those things are really, really frustrating already. Great. So the next thing I see is I'm seeing uname dash a is telling me it's a Linux localhost local domain 2.6.32 hyphen 573. Alright, so I'm going to copy this first. I'm just trying to enumerate. All right. I'm just trying to copy this because there's a hyphen here. You can come later and copy all of this, or you can come and copy one word. So because of time, I'm just going to copy this because this is what I need. I'm just enumeration, guys. It's just enumeration. And remember, I think we did when you check our map, there was something already. There's an Apache 2.2.15. You can choose to search for Apache 2.2.15, 2.2.15, forgive me, exploit and see what comes up. Alright, so I'm just going to skip all of that because time, I really did not want this video to be so long. And I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do exploit just to be sure. Obviously, you're not, um, most times when you go on a pen test, don't patch the flag, whichever, just try to Google wide, save yourself some stress. You don't need to be, permits me to use Lord of the Rings. You don't need to claim to want to kill it from. If there's a sword for you, please, you make use of the sword. All right. So I'm going to use, let me open. Okay, this is already one that I opened, so I'm just going to open that back. It also returns back to what am I checking? 2.6.3. So this one is 2.6.30, less than 3 point. Okay, so it's also something valid. You can come to see other, but since these guys have it in exploit DB, there's actually no point. 2.6.3 to 2.6 points. So pipe C, local privilege escalation. Blah 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 blah. Now the reason I'm not going to use this pipe.c is because when I downloaded it, I tried it before. Yeah, it's actually not gonna work. It's not valid. All right. So I'm actually looking for. Great. Let's check on 2.3, 2.6.3. Sorry, where's that? Let's be sure of what we have here. 2.6.32. Let's do this again. Okay. So I want to totally remove this from my history because this is causing a whole lot. All right. So let's do 2.6.302. This is also not what I'm looking for. Great. So I'm going to do exploits. All right. All right. So, so I'm just going to look around 2.6.32. Let's see what this is. All right. There is actually a vulnerability that I'm looking for. So let's check search exploits. There's a tool called search exploits. Let's put this. Okay. Okay. 2.6.32 to this. Let's copy this one and see. Mhm. So we're going to do exploit. Okay. So I'm seeing something here. I want to use what's it called? Exploit DB to find this. Great. I'm seeing what I'm looking for now. The reason I'm coming straight to this, okay, sorry guys, that's my alarm. The reason I'm coming straight to this is because I've used this and I know it works, all right, as opposed the other one I showed you pipe.c so that we'll not go around beating around the bush. All right, so we'll just come and use vertical, this one, vertical, this privilege escalation, etc password method. All right, so this works as opposed if you're on your Linux box, you can actually just click to download. All right, so this is how it will come 4839.c. Great, so let's come down to uh Linux box. Okay, let's come down to yes, Linux box, and then we can clear this and do cd downloads. So we have it here 4839.c. All right, so having said that, the next thing we want to do is we want to host a server, web server, local server where we can move this file. We need to move them into this for it to be useful. All right, we need to move this into for it to be useful. I'm going to go back to directory. I'm going to go into build exploits. The reason I'm doing this is if I have a number of what's it called? I'm going to call them exploits. Alright, so limpies and winpies. Limpies for privilege escalation as well. Winpies is for Windows privilege escalation. Limpies for Linux privilege escalation. So we come here and then if you want to actually move things into any Linux directory, you need to put it in the TMP directory. So I'm going to do /TMP and then I'm going to ls. So you see I already have a limpies inside of here. I have a limpies here. And this 1018.sh is that pipe.c that I said was not going to work. So there's no point trying it again. So I removed what I had here already so that we can go together. So this is how you do it 10.0.2.4. What's the name? Okay, so copy and then I'm going to paste this here. Great. So this is how you move things. You host a web server and then you download things. wget is used to download. So even on your normal Kali Linux, if you don't want to go to what's it called, the browser to download, you can just wget the IP address, the URL of whatever it is you want to get, and then it will be downloaded straight into your machine. Having said that, now you want to host a Python server. Do this, and then now watch what happens when I hit enter. Okay, awaiting response, connecting to 10.0.2.4.80 connected, no 4.3. Let's do this. Mm, this is student system. W gets HTTP. Then, okay, sorry. I put a different IP address. Apologies. I put 10.0.2.4 was for the vulnerable machine, not my Kali Linux. Apologies. You can check your Kali Linux by doing a if config. So mine is 10.0.2.15 as against 10.0.2.4. 10.0.2.4 is for the box. So then we come and we do the same thing, and then so where is that? Okay, let's copy this again. Great, great. So now we see that it's loaded into it. It's downloaded. All right. So when we do an ls, we see 40.839.c. Then if we come back to this place, we see that the exploit is the Pokemon exploit, Detical, whatever. To use this exploit, modify the user's value according to your needs. Then you compile. So this they're telling you where to get it from there. But excuse me. Then you compile. This is how you compile. Now it's best to compile on the machine you want it to be used on. So we've moved it into where we have a reverse shell. So I'm just going to paste this. All right, and I'm going to hit enter. No such file or directory. Okay, apologies. So instead of dirty.c, what I have is 4.8. So I'm just going to let me type this out. GCC dash p threa. Hope that's correct. So I'm going to do 40.839.839 dot c. Then you're going to put it into a file called dirty. Alright, then lcrypt. Excuse me, lcryt. Oh, that's okay now. Great. So we can ls and then we have dirty. Now we have dirty in here. The next thing you want to do is you want to change the mode. As I've said in previous video, so to do that, you want to do ch mode plus exit gives the highest permission. What are we changing? Dirty. Right? So this is dirty. Because this is this box, you won't see it. If it was your Kali Linux that has respect for colors, it's going to show. Well, this is a shell we are onto, so it's not going to show. Alright. So the next thing you want to do is just to run your .// dirty. Great. So we see it tells you password successfully backed up to this. All right, password back. Please enter the new password. You can choose to just leave it. So I'm just going to leave it blank. I'm not putting anything. You can choose to put any password. You just need to remember the password. All right. So I'm just leaving it blank. So allow this to complete. So we see Firefox is a user that has been created, and the user is in the root directory. All right. So being bash, but in the root directory. So it tells us that we already have full permission. Once this finishes what it's doing, you'd have explicit permission. So you can just hold on a few minutes. If you have any complaints, if you have any questions, if there's something you don't understand, I was too fast, I was too slow, please tell me. I'll put in the next video. Once and again, I want to apologize for the noise or the quality of the sound. Like I said, I just updated my Windows system, and then like about 30 minutes before I began recording, I updated my Windows, and then it's just ensured that both wired and wireless Bluetooth devices would not be able to work. So I'm connected. I am even playing other videos, and I can hear it via my connected Bluetooth earphones, where I cannot. There's no audio when I speak into my what's it called now? My recorder, my recording application. There's no voice. Right. So you see done, check its password to see if the new user was created. We can actually do that, but there's actually no point. We can actually do that. Okay, we have to be the roots before we can check that. All right, so you can log in with this, and the password. Then we can check it. Don't forget to restore, move this. It's the password created. All right, so you can just do. So you say we can log in with Firefox and the password. So obviously, for you to change a user on a Linux machine, you have to use SU super user Firefox. I'm just going to copy this so I don't misspell it. And then I didn't put a password, so it's asking for a password. I just hit enter. Great. So you see that it tells me I'm in. So I'm going to do an ls. So I'm going to do a cd to root. And I'm in roots actually. So remember the reason why I could do a CD to root is remember the temp directory. That's where we were. So you see localhost TMP. So what I just did was I went straight to Firefox at localhost. This is the root directory. This tilde sign is actually the root directory. If you come to your Linux, so you see the same thing. This tilde tells you that you're in the root directory. So instead of doing CD root, you can actually do CD tilde, and it takes you straight to the root directory. Alright, so you see roots is a directory. All right, so we can do print working directory. It tells you we are in root. All right, so we can do who. Okay, so let's do an ls first of all to see. So we see this, so we can cut FRISTILEAKS secrets, copy, paste this, and then you see we're done. Congratulations on beating FRISTILEAKS 1.0 by this. I wonder if you beat it in the maximum 4 hours, blah 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 blah. And this is the flag, shows you that you're done. Now for us to actually complete this and be sure with our chest that we actually completed and got UID 0, we can come back and do all of those things. I like to do all of them. Host name, it tells me localhost dot local domain. Who am I? Firefox. I'm no longer that is whatever the username was. Apologies, I can't pronounce that thing. Then I like to do a uname dash a. Alright, so it's still the same thing. It's still the same thing. Then lastly, I like to do an ID. So we see UID Firefox, group ID roots, same thing as here, and get roots UID 0. So we are roots. Alright. ID is 0, UID is 0, and then we are root, user is root. And that brings us to the end of this box. I hope you did enjoy it like I did. I know I probably spent so much time in this box. Apologies for that. Do like, share, subscribe, all those things you guys do. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Subscribe. Drop comments for whichever box you're trying to pawn and you have issues on. I'll make a video on it and then we can walk through together. Thank you and see you next time.